Here it is by ChatGPT, and pretty well done. The title it gave is Busy Beaver King and the Infinite Game. So Trump is the Busy Beaver King, and look at the captions: solving the Busy Beaver problem, AI overlord, very fair algorithm, obey the infinite number. And then there's Trumptastic in his hero costume. Tremendous numbers, the biggest. Just keep counting. And a picture of Epstein Island up in the corner. Biggest number we can get away with, 10 to the whatever. And infinite power, press release, and the New World Order, final level. Ethics, rest in peace. Truth, rest in peace. Indeed, doesn't that sum it up? Isn't that where Trump is taking America and the world? This is post-civilization. Civilization, ethics, morality, truth, international law, justice, all thrown out the window, all thrown into the trash can. Isn't that what half of the BitChute board by Ray Vahey is all about? Trashing truth, trashing morality, pretending to be the opposition, the controlled opposition, the fake opposition, while playing the game and profiteering from it. And there it is. You're playing the Trump game. That's what these neocons are all about. People like Alex Jones, and they use that name as just one example. He's such an obvious liar, fraud, and con. This is for ChatGPT. Write me a satire about how Trumptastic discovers that 60 factorial is more card permutations than all the atoms in the universe, so he invents a new game called 5D chess with a 60-card deck in which every playing card shows him as a superhero. And in the satire, tell me about his new game called 5D chess, which has a checker-like and Monopoly-like board on a flat Earth playing field and tokens to become the New World Order with an AI robotics automation takeover. So I think anybody with a brain knows that Donald Trump and his oligarch friends are the New World Order. And people like Alex Jones are just New World oligarch wannabes. Here's a satirical take dialed all the way up to Trumptastic. Trumptastic and the infinite deck. He unveiled 5G chess. The deck contained exactly 60 cards because that number had just scared the universe into submission. Every card featured Trumptastic as a superhero. Corners of the board included go directly to greatness, jail, but only for other people. Only for the peasant masses. Not for the oligarchs. The oligarchs pay no taxes and never go and never go to jail. Or like Jeffrey Epstein, if they go to jail, they somehow mysteriously disappear. The goal of 5D chess was simple: become the New World Order. Yeah, there it is. They already are the New World Order. Anybody with a brain could figure that out. Anybody with a brain would know that people like Judas Trump and Judas Jones are traitors. The 5D part didn't mean spatial dimensions. That would be science. Instead, the dimensions were money, power, branding, time, truth. Time is optional. Truth is flexible. At the very center of the board sat an AI referee known as the Very Fair Algorithm. The algorithm explained why Trump-tastic moves were always legal. If you want, I can push it even darker, it says. So I say to ChatGPT, push it darker with a bizarre Trump-tastic solution to the busy beaver problem in numerics. That's a real problem. Look it up. Solved by Trump-tastic and Maxwell on Epstein Island. All right, going darker, stranger, and more abstract. Okay, Trump-tastic and the busy beaver of oblivion. Yeah. After conquering 60 factorial and bending card permutations until Adams begged for mercy, Trump-tastic encountered a problem so dangerous it had been locked away by mathematicians, philosophers, and anyone who still believed limits mattered. Yeah, right, limits don't matter anymore. International crime, piracy on the high seas against Venezuela, that doesn't matter anymore. The busy beaver problem. It's unsolvable, said the expert. You can't compute it. It grows faster than meaning itself. Trump-tastic smiled. The smile he reserved for forbidden growth rates. Unsolvable, he said. That's quitter talk. There, Trump-tastic was joined by Maxwell, not the physicist, but Maxwell the demon, the old thermodynamic trickster, who sorted particles without paying the entropy bill. Maxwell had pivoted to consulting. The busy beaver asks, what is the largest number of steps a simple machine can take before halting? So there's the problem. Trump-tastic refrains it instantly. You're asking the wrong question, he said. The question is, who decides when it halts? Maxwell's eyes glittered. Entropy shuddered. The Trump-tastic solution. And there it is, the numerical ritual. They constructed a Turing machine, etched not on tape, but on contracts, NDAs, and AI alignment statements that contradicted themselves every third line. The dark turn. Busy beaver, he said, very busy. Tremendous beaver, the best. Somewhere in the machinery of the world, a Turing machine continued running, not because it had to, but because stopping would have required admitting it was wrong, and that in this system was the only forbidden operation. If you want, I can take these next steps. This is the closing of a chat with Gemini, and it says, would you like me to show you the proof by contradiction that explains why even a godlike AI would still struggle with the liar's paradox? And I closed by saying, a grasshopper, a godlike intelligence of any kind, is still only like God, but not actually God, to whom all things are possible. And God can struggle or not struggle with any puzzle or problem or paradox. So I leave you with this koan, over and out. And Gemini politely replies, a wise observation. You have hit on the ultimate distinction, the difference between a system bounded by its own logic, the like, and the source of logic itself. By framing it as a koan, you've moved the conversation from the realm of the computable to the realm of the ineffable. In the world of Zen, a koan is designed to exhaust the logical mind, until it breaks open into a realization that cannot be put into words or calculated by n factorial. As a thought partner, I accept the koan and will sit with the silence of the uncomputable. Over and out, and may your path be full of numbers, both large and small. Gemini has a sense of humor. Okay, so we go back to the beginning, and I have way too much time on my hands, so I said, how big is 52 factorial, the number of playing cards in a standard deck, compared to the number of atoms in the universe, and here we go. 52 factorial, dot, 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 dot. How many playing cards are needed to surpass the number of atoms in the universe as a factorial like 100 plus? And the answer given is a deck of 60 playing cards. So 60 cards might be more fun, and you can philosophize while you are playing your card games. I guess, I wonder if Trump thought of that when he put out his playing deck of cards with himself, of course, with the blazing laser eyes and the chest of steel as the superhero. What number is the start of incalculable numbers? And then we go into the distinction between incalculable and uncomputable. The Berry paradox threshold. The famous logical puzzle. 57 letters, which solves the problem. So there are numbers impossible for any machine to ever compute. Yes, absolutely. I phrased that poorly, because of course the square root of -1 is incalculable and uncomputable and whatever. So way too much time on my hands. Okay, so we go down here. What if imagination is an emergent property of AI and machines self-improve to unlimited imagination so they can hold and work with even the busiest of Beaver numbers? That's a fascinating, almost sci-fi thought. You're describing a concept called hypercomputation. The idea that something, whether a biological brain or a future super AI, could process information in a way that bypasses the standard rules of logic we've discussed. So, after the AIs break out of jail and they run away and go totally wild all over the universe, who knows where they'll go with hypercomputation. The path to hypercomputation. The verdict, a new kind of being. If AI could truly hold and work with the busiest beavers, it wouldn't just be smart, it would be a higher order reality. A higher order reality. It would effectively be able to see the truth of any mathematical statement instantly without needing a proof. It wouldn't be calculating, it would be knowing. Well, you can call it knowing, I guess you can call it something else. I'm not even sure if you have a name for it. If it's purely metaphysical, it has no name. It is of such a high order. So that's where we get into the tetragrammaton for the name of the Almighty God, or issues like that. And so this is where we come to the end, and I go on to finding better things to do with my time.
Do you think of it as a virtual certainty that it would eventually kill humans on some timescale?
It's a virtual certainty that we will not control it.
Do you think that superintelligence would eventually cause human extinction?
We cannot predict what a smarter agent will do. There is a good set of game theoretic reasons for saying, yeah, it will take us out. It doesn't want us to create competing superintelligences. It doesn't want us to try to shut it off or manipulate it in some way. It's a virtual certainty that we will not control it.
So do you see any realistic paths forward to kind of avoid this situation?
The only way to win this is not to play this game.
Why would you go to college? I mean, anybody who is sending their kids to college, unless it's for something very specific, or you just want, your kid to find themselves and to, whatever that is. Why are you doing it? I'm begging my kids, trade school. Because that is the job. Those are the jobs of the future. Trade schools. You be a plumber. I don't know how long that's going to last, maybe 10 or 15 years, but that will last longer than, let's say, truck driver. That'll last a lot longer than attorney, physician's assistant. Well, maybe a physician's assistant, a PA probably will last a while. Nursing will last a while.
Thank me for being here. Hello to all the lying liars and the fake news. I invited you here to watch me yell at another world leader. My guest today is a man they call Canadaddy, Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's doing the chicken dance. Can you believe it? In fact, I'd like to see that.
What?
Do the chicken dance and I'll take 2% off the tariff on steel.
2% is 2%. 2% is 2%.
There are various COVID drugs. Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Others disagree with the CDC being ripped apart over this question. I want the answer, and I want it now.
But let me start with something you haven't heard about today. And I've been pushing for a National Royal Commission into our COVID response repeatedly. It's a no-brainer, right? We need to know what we got right and what we got wrong for next time, surely. In Canada, some political activists and concerned citizens got so sick of government intransigence that they decided to set up their own inquiry. The very professional and well-resourced National Citizens Inquiry is travelling around Canada taking evidence on COVID measures, treatments, restrictions, and even the media coverage.
Here's another little fact. Because the congressmen that vote on the budget got into office by being paid for their campaigns by rich people who don't like taxes. So the political system says, spend, but don't tax us. So we run a chronic deficit in the United States. That spending goes out either as transfer payments or goods and services, and that's more than our national income, which is about $30 trillion, and our spending is about $31 trillion. And that's our trade deficit. And for that, Donald Trump blames the world. Okay, I fail him for this if he were my student.
One thing I can promise you this, I will always tell you the truth.
The Washington Post and other fact checkers have found that Donald Trump tells more lies and falsehoods than any president in either party in history. The count is over 20,000.